I'm going to be honest and upfront. There are genres on YouTube I don't watch. Because of how busy I am at this present time, I don't generally watch much content anyway, but those content channels I do watch aren't reactions. So what we're going to discuss, I have to come at from a level of ignorance. However, I did have enough time to look into this, and I'm going to say from the offset, the media company in question comes across as a money-grubbing extortionist scam, and MxR are mugs for paying it every time. So, what happened? MxR do reactions. They do other things like vlogs, unboxings, and other related things. They have playlists for it on their channel. But the views and the bread and butter are the reactions. Now, I don't care for reactions. I consider it quite boring. But there is a principle here that must be addressed. But before that, I kind of want to shade reactions. You get all these views and you do so little. There are some that do it right. And by right, I mean they're a bit more creative with how they react to it, instead of someone just sitting there with the video on the screen as well. It's a very obvious formula, and it works for a lot of people. Maybe I'm just jealous because I don't get those views, but I'm quite proud of the views I get, so perhaps it's not that. I first heard of reaction channels courtesy of Grade A Under A, the now long since deceased channel that I really enjoyed until he got involved in the leafy nonsense. I think he's still on Twitch, I don't know. Point is, afterwards I watched a few reaction channels and I found it to be incredibly dull. I think the only time I've ever watched a reaction was Repzion, and he didn't have the video on the screen. It was just him reacting to, and we could hear the audio, which I found to be really different. MxR do a variety of reactions, not just to trailers to movies, but also memes. And this is where the air quotes media company Jukin Media come into it. You see, every time a clip of theirs, which they have no watermark for, appears in one of these reaction videos, they then claim it, citing that they want the money to go back to the original creator, okay? Because they bought the rights they claim to have, bought the rights to a number of videos, and they will not have the copyright infringed upon. We'll get to fair use soon, I promise. As a YouTube lawyer, an actual lawyer who does YouTube, has spoken on this, and there are some key points and aspects worth addressing. They started claiming and sending the messages with an invoice to MxR, who rather stupidly paid them every time, to the more recent incident where MxR ended up getting copyright strikes instead for 4 separate clips or memes shown in their reactions, and a $6,000 bill, which is quite a hefty bill, I will admit. MxR put out a video claiming they're being extorted. Well, you were being extorted for a while, to be honest. I've used clips and I've done response videos. Nobody has ever threatened to and send me an invoice to then strike me. I've had someone try and hit me with a lol suit for an image, but I just pixelated that. No offense to the guy in question, I'm on good terms with him, so it's all good. The issue now is how legitimate Jukin Media are. Company that has since deleted its Twitter, LinkedIn. I believe their Facebook was down for a while, but it's apparently back up again. A company that claims to own things and extort people. I'll be honest, this should have always gone through a court to begin with, and the fact you were just invoicing, I mean, they must be doing really well financially to be able to pay you, but the fact you kept doing it and then just striking to then invoice was astonishing. Instead of, if you claim to own the rights to the content, reaching out and saying, could you remove this please? In fact, that is the one thing you should do. You should reach out to the creator and ask them to remove it, as we can do that in a editor on YouTube. We could just remove it for you. And then you get to still own the copyright and no one benefits beyond the views it already got, and maybe ask for a slice of that, but you're not going to get any of it, so suck on it. So now let's talk about fair use. For this we should talk about Leonard J. French, who has said that it's possible that MxR plays are not making a fair use, but he's not sure how a judge or jury would find if this went to a trial because fair use is such an in-depth analysis. And the 4 key points here that we need to address are: 1. The copyrighted part of the video has been transformed into something new, such as commentary or criticism. 2. The original copyrighted work is not being used for profit as opposed to being used for commercial purposes. 3. A very small proportion of the original copyrighted content has been used, such as a single frame from a video with more original content added. Memes, yes. Maybe not single frame, but certainly quite short. 4. The video was not usurped the market, meaning people do not need to watch the original anymore. Now, as far as these go, we have issues, because reaction channels are openly looked down upon by most creators as those that do in fact infringe on copyright. So there is an issue there because of the nature of the content they make anyway. However, if it is a short clip within a larger video, I'm not entirely convinced it falls under that because it falls under fair use because the clip is so short. This is up there with that Onision Gregory Jackson moron that claims anything that so much as shows a still of his in a video. I'm not going to put a video or image of him up, but he's not worth it. 2. The original copyright work not being used for profit. Well, it's a reaction channel, yes, profit is there, so there is another issue there. 3. A small proportion of the original content work has been used, which is again actually true, because there was more content added owned by other people, none of whom claimed the video. And the 4th one, the video not usurping the market. This one's an argument, really. It's a tricky one, because it depends entirely on whether the meme had any stick, stay, pull, including the videos themselves. If the video was, let's say, a week old on YouTube, chances are its views were dead. There are not many videos that have rewatchability. Memes sometimes qualify, but they'd have to sit within a compilation to be able to get that rewatchability. So it's not entirely known whether or not, and I haven't seen the videos they made that got the claims in the first place, so I can't do more than speculate. If this issue went to a courtroom, which is possible, it did with H3H3, although it was a different context. If Jukin or Jukin Media registered the copyrights before making the claim, the damages could go up to as far as 150 grand. But if they had not registered the copyrights, they'd only be able to claim actual damages, which are the original fee for the video's use, about $50, plus attorney fees. I would tell MxR, even though I'm not overly fond of reaction content, do that. Someone is now abusing the copyright system to bully others into giving you money. By you, I mean the media company. That is unacceptable. This should always be resolved peacefully. And if someone then bills you for using it, you take it to a lawyer and you absolutely escalate it. It is unacceptable. Creators have a system. We have a system. It's abused on a regular basis, and it is now being abused by a, air quote, media company, end air quotes, who are then on the side extorting, and it is that. You're invoicing somebody and bullying them by saying you'll terminate their channel. You say you left a comment, because it was on an original tweet that's no longer up because the Twitter's gone, that you had left a comment, in fact, on the video. Well, I should point out, for a channel this size with the number of comments they get, unless you are a verified user, they're not going to see the comment unless they scroll through all their comments. They get thousands of comments per video. That is verifiable. How is your one comment going to stand out? You would have been better to email them and say, could you please remove this, as we own the copyright and are not content, happy, or feeling generous enough to let you use it. All under the guise of saying you want to give the money to those who actually own the copyright. Well, as you own the copyright, the money would go to you if you do in fact own the copyright. The media company in question come across as a scam. I don't like that. And those that abuse the copyright system need to be deleted from the internet, or using it. We don't want to forget they exist after all. But at the same time, what about the reaction channel? What happens to them? Because while I'm not a fan of them, and having not seen the video, I don't have the full context of whether or not it was transformative enough based on their content. I did take the liberty of watching a few of MxR's videos, and I will say, as far as reaction channels go, they put in a lot more effort than most of the generic types, to the point where I would argue they actually edit their videos, which I have to admit, I was surprised by. I would advise MxR, by the way, if you ever see this and want to listen to some pretentious Englishman, do not seek legal advice. And if you have to, might I recommend you reach out to a certain little group set up to help YouTubers who are being attacked for misuse of copyright. It is an option available, and I'm sure they would be more than willing to help. Now, as I'm done with this, I'm very much interested to know what you think. So please do let me know about this, because I'm kind of unsure. Because I don't watch reaction content. I don't watch this kind of stuff usually, ever really. But also I want to know what you think about the media company involved. So please let me know in the comments below. Now, there wasn't a video today over on Moistski Live, but there is a PMQ stream tonight at 9:30. Before that, I'll be streaming on Twitch. Some fishing, I believe. And as it is my birthday, you're all invited. Come turn up. Give me attention. I'm kidding. You don't have to turn up. But if you want to, by all means do so. So I hope you'll have a fantastic Wednesday. And thank you all for listening.